Hi, Tim Tucker here from Sustainable Westerville. I'm here to talk about the upcoming Linux Repair Cafe to be held May 9th, 2026 from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Westerville Public Library. Our rallying cry is give me your tired PCs, your poor Macs, your huddled Windows masses yearning to breathe free. So what is Linux? Linux is an operating system for computers. Other operating systems that people are probably familiar with are Microsoft Windows and Apple Mac OS. Linux is what they call open source. This means it's not managed by a single company, but by a global community. Linux is free, it's easy to use, and it's secure. Updates are distributed through controlled sources. Linux promotes ownership. You decide what happens on your computer, not some faceless company. There are many different distributions of Linux, and they're tailored to meet specific needs. For the Linux Repair Cafe, we're going to be using Linux Mint. That's a distribution that's known for its window-like interface and ease of use. Why the need for a Linux Repair Cafe? The concept for the Linux Repair Cafe was largely initiated by Microsoft's decision to stop support for Windows 10. Many older PCs do not have the resources to support an upgrade to Windows 11. This will pose security risks and will result in many computers being discarded. There's estimates of anywhere from 10 million to 100 million PCs that are at risk of becoming e-waste. We're talking about tons and tons of e-waste. Aside from Windows 10 issues, there are many PCs and Macs that just are no longer useful on their old operating systems. They're gathering dust in closets or maybe going to the landfill. So what if we could take many of these old machines and give them new life by reloading them with a full-featured, secure, robust operating system like Linux Mint, which will allow for many years of productive use? This would be a huge economic and environmental win. What will our customers do with the Linux Repair Cafe? We'll have a slideshow going in the background so they can watch and learn about Linux. They'll have a chance to speak with experienced Linux users and have questions answered. They can try out Linux Mint on one of our team's computers to kick the tires and get a feel before committing to reload their computer. If they do want to commit to reload, we can go ahead and then load Linux Mint on their computer and then give them some additional training as needed. We believe Linux Mint will satisfy the typical needs of most users. Linux Mint provides robust web access, and this is where the users are probably to be spending most of their time. Email, YouTube videos, shopping, eBay, web surfing, and so on. Linux Mint also has a robust suite of Office tools called LibreOffice, which can be used to read, write, and modify Microsoft Office documents. And in fact, this presentation you're watching now was created using LibreOffice to create a Microsoft Office PowerPoint file. Linux Mint supports Zoom meetings, and there's many other applications that either come standard with Linux Mint or can be easily loaded, such as graphics, photo management, video creation, gaming, and so on. Linux Mint is secure. Some of the reasons are there is a firewall that blocks incoming traffic by default. Software updates will be applied automatically. The system will be password protected. And at the current time, most malware and viruses do not target Linux. They're primarily targeted at Windows and Mac, which are the predominant operating systems in the market. So what does it actually look like on a Linux Mint system? Let's explore. Hello. In this video, we're going to walk through what a typical Linux Mint installation looks like. In the upper left-hand corner, we can see some icons that should be familiar to Windows users for computer and trash. We will also be placing a document on the desktop for novice users for how to get started with Linux Mint. This was created by the International Repair Cafe organization, so this will always be easily accessible for our new users. The the desktop for Linux Mint is very configurable. We could put all kinds of background images or photos as our wallpaper. There's also many applets you can load to sit on the desktop. I happen to put a simple one for time and date. There are many others that are easily installable. For example, stock tickers, weather. There's an analog clock applet. There's a quote of the day. All kinds of things you can put up there to meet your needs. In the panel down on bottom, we will be putting links to the most common applications that people will be likely using. There's one to look at files on the computer. There is an icon for the Firefox web browser. There's an icon for the Chrome browser, which tends to be, I think most people end up using that. We've got a icon for a calculator, and there is going to be an icon for LibreOffice. For those who don't know, LibreOffice is the open source analog to the Microsoft Office suite of tools. With LibreOffice, we can open, read, and write Microsoft Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations. We can also create new ones in either Microsoft Office format or LibreOffice format. For example, if I wanted to create a simple spreadsheet, I would just click on the calc icon and then I've got my spreadsheet. Any applications that are open, there will be an icon down here. I'm actually running a screen recorder right now, which I'm using to create this video, and that's what you're seeing down here. I will hide that. In the lower left-hand corner is the icon we use for opening up applications. This includes all the applications that are showing here on the panel, but there's many other applications, and there's a huge number of applications that open source applications that could be downloaded for Linux Mint. In the lower right corner is our notification area. Again, similar to Windows, we've got the time and date, battery status, sound, Wi-Fi, printer status, and so on. I will add that the machine that I'm on right now is one that I purchased new many years ago with Windows 7 on it, and it always ran very lethargically. The machine only has 8 gigabytes of memory. Is my bad for buying a machine with such little memory, and it can't be upgraded to any more memory than that. So it was always kind of a dog on Windows. It's quite peppy on Linux Mint, so I'm quite happy with the performance that I have here. So I hope this video helps and will let people feel comfortable that transitioning from Windows to a Linux Mint environment is actually fairly painless. Thanks for watching. Thanks again for watching. Please spread the word to help make our first Linux Repair Cafe a success.